If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello! Hi again. If you're popping in again, this is episode 4 of the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. I better stop saying that in the intro because obviously you know that in the title, if that's what those sections are called. Today I have the wonderful Katie Knott on my podcast. She was such a pleasure to speak to. She's an embroidery artist and I fell in love with watching her reels on Instagram. As some of you may know, my background is in sewing, and watching somebody hand sew and embroider, I just love it. We chatted all about having a creative business and the highs and lows, but she's just a really fantastic spirit and I really enjoyed chatting to her. So I hope you love that. And just to add in a little bit of information, thank you to my father-in-law, Chris, who told me all about Patreon. So I've signed up and I'm now using Patreon. There is some details on the show notes of this episode and on my Instagram. And without further ado, here is episode 4 of the No Rest for the Vivid podcast with Katie Knott. Hello, Katie Knott!
Hello!
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yes, good. Are you comfy? If you've got a nice cup of tea?
Yeah, I've got a coffee.
You've got
sat on
coffee.
The sofa with a blanket.
Oh, that's it.
Total autumn vibes now.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen on your Instagram posts and everything. Oh, you love a bit of autumn, don't you?
I have waited so long for the rain. But only because I didn't have to do the school run this morning. But no, the weather, the sunny weather the past couple of weeks has just thrown me because it's like I'm waiting for summer then to rejoice, even though I'm at the end of summer and autumn
all the way. And some of your work in the last couple of weeks, all the autumn vibes, has been amazing.
I've got 2 pairs of trainers that are all up is for autumn brides, and oh god, I'm loving them.
Good.
Loving them.
Amazing. I've seen there was there one recently as well, you did like a starry night trainer, didn't you? And before I'm talking about your work because obviously I'm obsessed with your Instagram, and that's how we became Instamates, because I was like, this is stitch porn every day, like looking at your reels of you stitching. But this is your opportunity now. What's your name? Where do you come from? What do you do for a living?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm from Lincoln and I'm an embroidery artist.
I need to sort of remember what the blind date was at that point.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, we'll make up a rhyme. So, Katie, embroidery artist. Yeah. What's the love story behind your wonderful little business, Knitty Knotts?
It all started with sewing bunting. There was no needle and thread sitting and sewing until probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and then it's just developed over time. And now I just if I can sew on anything, I would. I just love it. It's so therapeutic. Embroidery is just I love it.
So you started the bunting, and you love sewing? Did you start at a young age? Or how did it start?
I started probably, I want to say probably about 11, maybe my eldest daughter. I might have been younger, and my aunt learned me cross stitch. And I always remember my mum went to every Christmas, she'd go on a shopping trip, and she came back with a little Christmas cross stitch kit. And I can always remember that. And from then it's just developed. And then as I got older, obviously you don't want to sew because it's not cool or anything like that. And I stopped sewing until probably maybe 20, and I fell ill, and there was literally nothing I could do. I was in a wheelchair. So
oh my goodness, what happened, if you don't mind me asking?
My legs just stopped working. and I was just in so much pain all over. It was horrific. And I think we went about 2 years to get a diagnosis. And I just, at the time, like the doctor said, oh no, it's all in your head. And it was awful. And then it came out that I got fibromyalgia.
Right, okay.
But then obviously as the years developed, it's gone into a bit of a different way. So I couldn't really do anything when I was about 20-year-old. So I got my cross stitch back out, started to stitch, got better, stopped, and then got it back into the love of sewing when I had my first daughter, when I then got postnatal depression. So it's
right.
Sewing's always been there as a coping tool, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it's just, now I must be depressed all the time because all I do is sew now.
But you're so, oh my goodness, I mean, as you know, my background's sewing, and watching your threading, I don't know, you are an expert on the reels and the TikTok.
I'm so not though.
You are. We'll come back to that, because where there's been a little bit of a skyrocket for you in the last couple of months, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But you starting, so you had the sewing, and it sort of was a comfort and a rescue blanket and something for you to make you feel better.
Yeah.
Which I think if anyone's listening and they do so, it really is a very therapeutic artistry, isn't it? But then, so you fell pregnant, had your baby, and then what happened?
Oh, I just got really sad. I just could not be away from my daughter.
Right.
Constantly, and I was such a stickler for routine, and if I didn't do things in a certain way, I was adamant that something bad would happen, that she would die or that she would be taken away from me. But no, I look back now and think, oh my God, that's just ridiculous. But at the time, you get yourself in such a black hole, and it's so hard to get out of it. And it was her christening, because I'm not religious at all, but I wanted a christening in case she died. So she had somewhere to go.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with her. There was no reason for her to die or anything like that. But in my head, she was going to go, and I needed to make sure she had somewhere to go. And I wanted to do all the bunting. So I'd sit and sew the bunting. My sister-in-law got married, and we did the bunting and little wedding favours. And then she said, well, why don't you, she set up my first Facebook page, and she got it all going for me. So on an evening, I'd just sit and sew. And it was my mother-in-law who came up with the name of the business. But everybody thinks that it's knitting for some reason, because it's like Knitty Knotts. But it was my mother-in-law who actually came up with it. And then my sister-in-law just set up a Facebook page for me. And she was the one that got me started and said, no, get doing it. Amazing. And then it just kind of went from there. But that was, well, Lizzie's coming up to 12, so it's coming up to 12 years.
Wow.
11 years. So it's a long time, but the embroidery side's not been that long in comparison.
Okay, so you started off with the bunting, and then you progressed. Did you really feel that, I mean, the stitching and how it had helped you before, and then feeling so scared when you had your eldest, did it?
I think because when you sew, you've got to concentrate. And I mean, I have to with a sewing machine because I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate a sewing machine, but you've got to concentrate, so you're not allowed to think of anything else. And that was a huge, because I overthink so much, and I still do it now. I overthink, but when you sew, you can't. You've got to concentrate.
Form of meditation or mindfulness or something like that. Then,
yeah, because I mean, I've tried yoga, tried to line up my chakras, but no, the thoughts still come into my head. But when I'm sat sewing,
yeah,
I could just switch off.
Yeah. Oh, that does sound, it's so therapeutic, isn't it?
It is, until you get knots in your thread, and then you just want to throw whatever you're working on at the wall.
Yeah, yeah. Or like I was speaking to you about those holes you get in your fingers, the needle holes, which again, if you sew,
Oh,
my God, it's just like literally the calluses I had when I had my old business Violet and May, and literally pushing those, because I don't know about you, I could never use a thimble. And everyone says, oh no,
no,
why aren't you using a thimble or those rubber thimble
they
things?
just come off. They
Nah.
don't stay on. And
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be all fingers and no, it just would not work.
Yeah, sacrifice the holes in your fingers.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay if it gets a bit infected. It'll be fine.
Well, you did a reel the other day when you were putting lotion on. I was like, gosh, she's organised. I don't do anything like that.
My brother is always slating me. He always says I've got old lady hands. So I'm constantly like hand creaming up, trying to make them younger, but it's just not happening.
But the thing is that we use our hands all day, every day. I know,
yeah,
you know, most jobs you might do that, but definitely when I was a teacher, I wasn't using my hands as much as I am now, because you're just literally making things all the time. Yeah,
constant. Yeah,
they're most. If you've got your hands insured, my husband keeps laughing that I should get my hands
should
insured.
have, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do if I broke my fingers or anything like that. This is my huge fear. I have never broken a bone at all. And I'm like, well, I'm quite impressed with that. 38 and I've not broken anything.
Yeah. I've only broken my nose because I had a race down a hill when I was drunk one night and fell headfirst into a drain. I broke my nose. I was in heels. And I think I was wearing like flared jeans, you know, back in like the early 2000s. It was really cool to have the flared long jeans. So they're coming back. And I tripped over a bit of my flare straight into a drain. Ridiculous. It's just
what a story.
My mate Dan was like, should we have a race? Yeah, let's go. Way, bang, smash my face open.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, how to be young. Don't do none of that anymore.
Oh no, I'd rather have me hot chocolate sewing in a blanket. So
you did your bunting and that was really successful. How did you get into the embroidery side of it?
I used to do keepsake cushions, and a customer said, oh, can you embroider I think it was their first birthday.
Yeah.
Either a birthday or a christening. And I drew on and sewed the letter in, and I thought, oh, I quite like that. And it was so much more relaxing. I think it was because I didn't like sitting at a desk with a sewing machine. I wanted to sit purely on a lazy, point. It was nice just to sit and be able to sew. And then it just kind of then went from there. And then it was all like embroidery hoops and stuff like that. I mean, I don't even do the keepsake cushions anymore because nobody wants them. And then it was only probably a few years ago that I did trainers.
Yeah. And
now,
this is where it's all.
It's just, at the minute, it's solely what I do.
Amazing. So everyone needs to go and visit Katie's Instagram, because you now do bespoke embroidery onto like Converse and bands, and filming one of these went a bit crazy on TikTok, didn't it?
Oh, it did, yeah.
Well, a couple of them actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing what they like on TikTok. They like a bit of everything, I think. But yeah, we set up, obviously because of lockdown, I joined TikTok just to see what it was like, because it's just an online you've been framed, and it was brilliant. I thought, I'll stick some embroidery on. And then it was really, really steady until a couple of months ago, and then that was it. Then I'm now all booked up till January purely because of one video, and that it's just incredible.
And that video, how many views has it had on TikTok?
I think it's had about 2.7 million now. And it still gets the views now. I think it still comes up in like the For You page or whatever. But yeah, from that. And it was a lovely pair of shoes that it was. I think it was probably one of my favourite pairs that I've stitched on for a while. And it just went crackers.
Absolutely amazing. Because when I last spoke to you, it was at just over 1 million.
Yeah,
so in that time, it's grown twice as much. And so that was literally, you just put a video onto TikTok. This is how random it can be, isn't it? I mean, obviously your reels are mesmerising in how you put them together, your editing and showing the different aspects of your work and how you're creating it is really interesting. But with Instagram, I mean, you've had quite a bit of growth on Instagram recently as well. Has it always been that fast-paced growth?
No, it's always been really, really slow. And so I can't think, it must have been that on there at least 8 years. And it was just a bit of sewing and people, you know, and I remember when I got 50 likes on a post and I was so excited. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then it was just really, really steady. And then the more I started to do embroidering, then it got a little bit better. But it's hard. And I'm not going to lie, I've sat and I've researched how to grow on Instagram. And I would say each month, I think a few years ago, I wrote in, I thought I'd do like a bullet journal. So do goals that I wanted to achieve for that month. And I was on 6,000 followers and I wanted to get up to a certain amount each. And I thought, I'll just try different hashtags. And then it grew. And then luckily some really good pages, embroidery pages, shared my work. And then I hit 10,000. And then it just got a little bit quicker and quicker. And now I'm at 50, just short of 52.
Yes, amazing. And how long did it take you to get to that 10K? I mean, it's such a big milestone that everyone discusses. And
to 10K, I think it must have been at least 5 years.
Wow.
4 or 5 years. Yeah, it was a lot. It wasn't. And I'd look at everybody else and I'm thinking, but you've got so many more followers. And it, without sounding harsh, I would say my stuff's better. And what am I doing wrong? And it was quite, but then I thought, no, it doesn't work like that. It's a hit and miss game, I think. But you just got to keep ploughing on with it. Yeah.
Keep going. And you, with your Instagram, did you feel like you had a bit of a strategy going into building it?
It did eventually, yeah, because I knew I needed to I just wanted the swipe up.
Yeah.
Though I don't think it probably had that much effect on it. And I can't say that I had more work as a result of getting 10,000. But then again, I'm always busy, but I've always not been busy.
Yeah.
And it's quite hard because Instagram is my business. It's my marketing tool. It's my advertising. It's everything. It's my shop. If people came into it, I don't have a bricks and mortar shop. My shop's online. But yeah, so I would be lost without Instagram. I know that much, yeah.
And so you feel that, did you have a business before when you were at 6,000 followers?
Yeah, I did, but it wasn't nowhere near on the scale of what it is now.
Yeah.
It was, now I think this is the first time where I took the summer off and I made a conscious decision. No, I need to take the whole of the summer off. And I did. And it was lovely. And then when I came back to work, I'd forgotten how to sew and I was so slow. It was horrendous. But yeah, I'm pleased I took that time off because Christmas, I still work over Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I like. When I don't work, I worry, oh God, but if I'm not doing stuff, people are going to forget about my business. They'll go elsewhere. And so I'm always on the go. And I think all small businesses are like that. They don't like to have nothing on because then that's when all your doubts creep in. And yeah.
Oh yeah. The best way to stop worrying about your business is to keep busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's that difference between being productive and busy. Fall into a pattern of making yourself feel busy to make yourself feel better when actually it's not productive. And I did this last week. I was poorly and I was really poorly Thursday. And I was like, but I've got to do something because I'm not working. It's my first sick day since I've been full time. I've got to do something. So I'm just watching videos about, God, I don't even know, niches, I think. And I mean, it gave me a bit of inspiration, but really I should have been asleep because I'm just like trying to make myself feel better for having a day off.
Oh, it's terrible. I think there's a woman on Instagram and she said, even if you're quiet, pack your boxes up so they're all ready. Work on your production of that so that when it comes to packing your orders, it's all there and done. Because I mean, I hate packing.
Oh, see, I used to, and now I love it.
Oh, it's so time consuming.
You've got quite a lot of customers in America, haven't you? In the US. Do you feel like you're sending a baby into space? I've spoken about this before, like when you worry about your order going out.
I sent a parcel over to Ireland and I sent it the second to last week in August. It gets to the beginning of September. Still not got it. I'm like, okay. And I panic. I go online. And luckily the customer, touch wood, I've always had amazing customers. Yeah. And she said, I can see it there because I have all the tracking info. I can see it there. And I was like, but this isn't on because you should have it by now. And then it finally came. But oh my God, for those probably 3 weeks, I don't think I slept. Yeah. Not really, because I'm worrying. I just have this awful fear that they're not going to get it. And a lot of them are for weddings.
For a wedding.
I tell you, my anxiety goes sky high. And then when you get them, they think, oh my God, they don't like them because they've probably not messaged you back because people don't, do they? Oh my, yeah, they don't like them. Oh my God, what am I going to do? My business is over. And that's it then. And then I'm on a slippery slope. And then I hear from them and I'm like, oh, all is well.
I think like, okay, I've wasted all of that warrior energy. Warrior, I still can't say it. Worrying energy on it. Yeah.
And I'm such a worrier anyway. I always think of the most ridiculous things that would happen. But that's the one thing that I hate about being a small business is the postal.
But that anxiety, and I say again, if you received any orders from me or Katie and you haven't messaged to say they've got them,
please message us.
Just message us and say it's here.
I was in a magazine earlier this month.
Yeah, you were, amazing.
They said, oh, we really, it's a really tight turnaround. Can you get it done? Oh, yes. My mum took the kids for me at the beginning of the summer holidays. Got it all done. Sent it next day, special delivery. And then when I went on, didn't have it. And it was like 2 weeks later and it still said that it didn't have it. So I rang up and I was going on holiday, rang up Royal Mail. Oh, no, it's classed as lost now. And there I'm thinking, oh, my God, I've just sent these shoes and I'm not going to be in a magazine. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? And they'd got them, but Royal Mail just didn't update the website.
So the magazine had them the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh.
But God. It was awful. And I was thinking, oh, my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Wow. So tell us a bit about that article. What magazine was it in?
It was Love Embroidery magazine.
Oh, amazing.
And they just dropped me an email. And I was a bit like, what are they asking me for? Not that good. And it was completely out of my comfort zone because it wasn't anything floral. It was the brief was coral under the sea. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So I did some sketches. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's brilliant. But everybody tends to do theirs on an iPad Pro, don't they, all their designs? I don't. I am a pencil and paper girl.
Me too.
I'm not. I mean, it must be brilliant, but more technology, no. I just can't be doing with it. I much prefer a pencil and paper.
Yeah, all my sketches for my designs are all pencil.
Yeah.
And then when I do my workshop kit designs, I make the workshop kit design freehand. So I just guess.
Yeah.
or I do a sketch and sort of follow it and then I work it out. I can draw better with wire in my hands than I can a pen and pencil. So I sort of do the roundabout thing. Then I make it. Then I scan it into my computer, photocopy it and scan it into my computer.
Yeah.
And then trace it for the templates for the workshops.
Yeah.
I know. Like, I can't draw it, then use that. And I have to do it all the wrong way.
It's
wrong
weird
way
how it is. And then you look at other businesses and how they do their process. And I think, oh, God, I'm crap. Because I didn't do anything like that. Yeah. Oh, my God, I'm just like this big fraud. Oh, they're so much better than me. And then like the imposter syndrome just...
This comparison is the thief of joy, isn't it?
Oh God, it's awful. And I always compare when I'm at my most busiest.
But you have to remember that people look at you and they're totally inspired by the way you put your reels together, your designs, the quality of your work. You compare yourself to other people. You walk into a restaurant and you see a really glamorous woman and you just think, oh, isn't she put together so well? Oh, I wish I could look like her. Or I wish I could have that much confidence, or, you know, all that crap that we think.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, she's looking at you with exactly the same thoughts.
Same, yeah.
I think it's just being mindful of when you have those thoughts of saying, hold on a minute, I've got nearly 3 million views on a TikTok.
Yeah, it's still, it's so bizarre when I'm at my most busiest, when I don't have the time to post or be present on social media. That's when it all creeps in. And then I think, oh, it's just going to end. And what would I do?
But it won't end.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Do you have any sort of like things that you do every day to try and minimize those kinds of thoughts?
If I'm really bad like that, I'll make sure that I don't go on social media. Or, I try to just limit the amount that I go on, because it's just like a seed and it kind of gets rooted and then it grows and grows. And I just think, oh, for God's sake, just get on and do your own work. Stop looking at everybody else's.
Yeah. So a really good thing is, if you're not going on social media, then you know that might be something that triggers you to feel worse. And that's why Instagram can be sometimes something that is a little negative, because yes, it's there for us and it's a free marketing tool, and it's helped us grow our small businesses to the point where we can basically live our dreams, which it is, and it is amazing, and I'm grateful for that every day. On the other side, you just exposes you to, but I think it is having that resilience in your brain of saying, there is enough for everybody, you know. There is so much success out there that everybody can take
and
part
everybody
in.
Especially on embroidery, they have their own style, and some are drawn to other styles, some are, they'll go to somebody else. But as long as there's work for everybody, it really doesn't matter.
No, and the thing is and the thing that always remind myself is that there are so many other people out there, and really that's amazing, but no one is me and no one is you. And that's what people come to your business because they're drawn to your personality and your designs and I definitely feel people are definitely drawn to the way that you film your work. I really need some candles because you've inspired me. I need some candles in my Halloween pictures when I finally get some bloody pumpkins. But that kind of, the way you place your photography is beautiful, as well as your work. The lighting on your pictures is amazing. So I think you are such an inspiration to other small businesses. You just maybe you need some post-it notes up, like, just to remind you every time you open your threads and your box with your threads in, just be like, I am an inspiration, because there's so many people out there. Imagine people have read your magazine, like, oh my God, like, look at what this woman does. She's a genius. 2.7 million I'll just keep going on about that because, as you know, my TikTok is it's down the pan. However, recently I'm getting some success with Pinterest. So everybody out there, get involved with a bit of Pinterest. I'm really loving the Pinterest at the minute.
Yeah, I do like Pinterest, but I very rarely put my stuff on there.
Yeah, so I
don't know why.
It's all about the strategy, isn't it? So I'm moving around, and I'm never going to leave Instagram, but I'm moving around and exploring Facebook a little bit more, Pinterest.
Yes, I think you've got to dip your toe in them all, because it is a free tool to advertise your business.
But TikTok, you've got a lot of sales from that. I mean, has really grown your sort of base, isn't it?
It's brilliant for something that I just went on just for a bit of fun. But then it's dipped down. It's gone quite quiet at the minute, which is, it's fine. You just go with it, because I haven't figured out Whereas on Instagram, I've figured out a strategy and I roughly know, it doesn't matter if at the minute it goes slow, Instagram's going through a bit of a dip. I've not figured that bit out on TikTok yet. I'm still finding my feet on there, I think.
What I've realised over the last couple of months is that I do my posts and I create content, my reels, etc. The other day when I was poorly, I went down a 90s music video rabbit hole. And I got loads of inspiration for reels. And I just thought, that's the kind of reel I want to do. I don't want to do a reel against a trending piece of music that I've never listened to and sometimes doesn't even have any words. I want reels that I
fit your brand.
That my brand, that people I think are hilarious, but also that the song just makes it as well.
Yeah.
So I've got a few up my sleeve.
I think everybody thinks that you've got to go on the trending music, but if you go on the trending music, there's still only a certain portion of those people that are going to be seen. So you might as well pick a song that you like that goes with your video. That's on with how you do it, and then the rest. You might not get as many followers or likes to start with, but it will get. If you keep going and you know the direction that you want to go in, you'll be seen and take notice of, I suppose.
Yeah. But I think and going back to that about creating the content, it's creating content because you love to make it. Yeah. And I made a reel the other day and I just really enjoyed making it. And I actually didn't care if anyone saw it. It was the element of being creative, because if you're running a creative business, you're creative. So you've got to
be creative.
Yeah, you can then use your creativity in a different way. It's the same as making this podcast, because I realised my husband's really supportive of me doing the podcast because I haven't got a hobby anymore. So
because your hobby's then your business, isn't it? Yeah.
So now, apart from I do still write the podcast, I thought it's giving content that I wish I'd had a couple of years ago. It's given me a chance to talk to people because you work on your own all the time. So it's wonderful to just have the opportunity to be able to chat to people. It's the same with my mentoring as well. I'm loving that because I get to chat to people. But I think having something where when you compose your reels and you create them, they are a piece of artwork in themselves. I think yours are really mesmerising.
I think now at the minute on Instagram, my reels are rubbish. They're not doing nowhere near as well as what they've done probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
There's a bit of a dip and you think, is that, do I need to up my game? But I don't know how at the minute. I don't know how I would up my game because they all fit. If I all of a sudden change the way I did stuff, it wouldn't fit in.
No. So, but you're fully booked till January.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But I do enjoy sitting and doing reels. I suppose that's my hobby now, is sitting and doing reels.
And I think it's changing your attitude to them that helps you have those, or helps to minimize those comparison feelings, because you don't care if people see it. You've created that content and that piece of art, which basically a reel or a TikTok video is, because you would say like a short film is a piece of art. You're making that for you, and then if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And since I've come up with that, like, I take pictures of my work because I love my work. I love showing it off. If people like it, brilliant. If they don't, it doesn't matter, because the joy that I had from creating it and taking the pictures that's for me anyway.
Especially with Instagram, it's a picture book. So you document all the things that you're proud of, the things that you've enjoyed. And as you would show your mates on your phone a picture of what you've done, it's just the same. Yeah. So put on what I always say, put on whatever you want, what you want to put on, when you want, and how often you want. Because some people don't like posting more than twice a week. Others like posting daily. It's whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Because that is your little corner of the internet. So do what you like with it.
Yeah, it's like your little scrapbook. Can you imagine if you sat there or a photo album thinking, well, I can't put this photo in that album until 9 o'clock on a Thursday evening because that's the time when we're most likely to look at that photo at that time. You take away all of that, you just enjoy it for what it is, and then those feelings minimize.
Pressure. There is such a pressure on Instagram that you've got to do certain things, but you haven't. You just got to do it for you. You really have.
And that's where your business grows, because people see that you love doing it and they're attracted to the joy that you're producing.
It's because you relax then. And when you relax, obviously the good vibes are there then, aren't they? And they see it all differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you relax into it.
Yeah, and then the joy just in the universe then goes, oh, she's ready!
Here I am!
Chucks you a TikTok with 2.7 million views, and then you're backed up till January. There you go. Backed up's the wrong word. I shouldn't have said backed up. Booked up. Backed up. If you could say one thing to your younger self that you know now, what would it be?
Just do it. Just go and do it. Just give it a go. What's the worst that's going to happen? Because you'll not fail, because you'll learn from it. So it's not, I don't see it as a failure, because you will learn from it and you'll know whether you like it or not, or if it's you or not. You've just got to do it.
Face the fear and
just do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
This podcast is not supported by or sponsored by Nike, by the way, but just do it.
Yeah, it's so true. And like you say it to your kids, or just give it a go. Oh, can't. Yeah, but what if you like it? Oh, yeah, and they'll just go and do it. So why shouldn't we take our own advice?
Yeah. Do you know, Jackson keeps saying this thing out of Bluey. If anyone follows me on Instagram, I'm absolutely obsessed with Bluey, the On Sea BBs. It is such a good show, and I watch it with him, and I properly watch it with him. And he goes, hey, mummy, give it a go, mate. And then does this winking point, give it a go, mate. I'm like, I will give it a go, though I give everything a go, but it's that sort of mentality. I'll give it a go, mate. And then I'll give him broccoli. Go on, give it a go, mate. No, mummy.
There's a line and you accept it.
There's a line with a 3-year-old. No, mummy. You can't even use an Australian accent with a wink and a point. I'm not touching that. Amazing.
No. Forget it.
This has been so amazing, my love.
Good. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it.
Just so lovely to hear, just loving what you do. Just go for it. And then and also I think as well from this podcast, if you're listening to anyone, it doesn't matter about how many followers you've got, you can still have a business, with, you don't have to have 10,000 followers, and it doesn't even matter anymore, because you don't even get the swipe up's gone. So you
don't know, which is, I've always said for such a long time, I never understood why Instagram didn't allow a swipe up for a small business. Yeah. If you set up for a small business, you should just automatically have it. You shouldn't have to get to 10,000 followers. No. And now you don't have to, so it's even better.
Yeah, it's even better. Yeah, well done, Instagram. Well done for recognising that everyone should have that link tab. And if you haven't got it yet, it's coming. Everybody gets it eventually. They do it in stages. Thanks. So then this podcast isn't sponsored by Instagram either. But if Instagram or Nike, if Instagram or Nike are listening and would like to sponsor my podcast, then that'd be fantastic. Thanks very much. Amazing.
DM.
Yeah, DM. Go on, DM me, whatever his name is. I've forgotten his name, that Instagram dude. You can DM me.
I can't remember, but he wears glasses, doesn't he?
Yeah, magic Instagram man. Wink, give it a go, mate. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, my love.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're more than welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time out to do it. Really grateful. Excellent. See you later, babe.
See you later.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast, written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.